Hello everyone. I'm coming at you with a bit of a news update regarding the Nintendo Switch that broke yesterday. So yeah, out of the blue, Nintendo announced a brand new model of Switch, and the screen is almost an inch larger, and it's using more advanced technology called OLED, so the screen is probably going to be a lot brighter, and there will be more definition to it. It's also said that the system can reach 1080p more consistently when it's docked, and there's a few other minor changes like more memory space, a wider stand, and the dock is slightly different, although I think it is compatible with normal Switches. I'm personally not sure if a bigger screen is going to help certain Switch games look better in handheld mode unless their resolution, which is usually pretty low, is also increased to compensate. It's also worth pointing out that this system will cost $50 more than the standard model, and I really think that Nintendo should have just decreased the price of the original model and made this new one the standard price. But otherwise, I think that this is probably a decent choice to make if you don't have a Switch and you're looking to get one. Other companies release slightly updated models of their consoles, so this isn't really that unusual. Remember the original PS4 had heat sensors instead of actual buttons, and I think they changed that after a year or two. So yeah, anyways, that's all I really have to say about this, so be sure to comment and subscribe. I'm kidding. The video is not over, because this is not really about the actual news story. This is about the responses to the news story that I have seen over the past day. This is about how Nintendo fans and websites desperate for clickbait spun rumors of this Switch's development out of control until people started believing absolutely ridiculous things. I think I remember seeing rumors first circulate about a more powerful Switch as early as 2019, and it's certainly possible that those rumors started as a result of claims that were somewhat accurate to what we have now, but they were very quickly blown out of proportion by certain websites, and a lot of people on the internet just ran with it, and it just built and built over time like a avalanche. Oh, it's called the Super Switch. Oh, it's the Switch Pro. It's going to be so much more powerful than the base model. It's going to have this fat NVIDIA chip. It can do 4K gaming. You know what? It's actually going to be able to compete with the PS5. It was just insanely tiresome seeing these rumors being parroted and pushed for almost 2 years. And Nintendo basically said nothing to imply that they were doing this at all. I mean, even this model, the OLED, and that Switch Lite that came out, they really didn't talk about that much. Suddenly they just said, hey, you can buy this now, and that was it. And E3, they didn't talk about it at all. They went out of their way to just talk about software, which certainly suggests that they are not trying to make a huge deal out of a new model. This is not like the Xbox One X, or the PS4 Pro. They're not really trying to make huge events out of these things for a reason, because they're not actually that different. And really, this is part of a bigger issue that I have with aspects of the Nintendo community. I spoke about this with the Grinch leak video a while back, and that is the desire by some people to believe basically anything, regardless of who is saying it or how ridiculous it sounds, and then they get upset when these unlikely things never actually happen. It's been almost 10 years of this. The fake leaks have been getting worse and worse and worse. It used to just be games that sounded like they'd never come out, like you had that Metroid Star Fox crossover, or like Star Fox Racing. I don't know why it's always Star Fox, but there have been plenty of others. 3DS Thousand Year Door remake, that never happened either. But people would just run with these for so long in the hopes that it would happen. I can't tell you how many fake things would come up about Nintendo Directs every now and then. We actually thought about doing this. I swear to God, like back in 2018, we actually spent some time writing out a fake Nintendo Direct, because there hadn't been one in a while, and we were going to make like a fake 4chan post, and then we were going to have a discussion video where we just talk about all these fake game ideas, and then at the end we were just going to reveal, yeah, this is all fake. Hopefully you caught on. We never ended up doing that, because I think not long after we wrote that, they finally announced a Direct, but hey, it was a funny idea. But either way, the claims are just getting crazier and crazier. And it's not even really claims anymore. Now it's all about evidence. The Grinch leak annoyed me because people are just making fake evidence. Remember when somebody made 3D models and hacked them into Smash Ultimate to try to convince people that there was Doom content, or maybe Doom Guy himself would be a character? I don't know why people are going so far with this. It's absolutely insane. Like, what are you getting out of this? Do you live for clout? You're just confusing and annoying people. And people seem so wrapped up in spreading the word about the Switch Pro in particular that they didn't really seem to stop and think about whether or not it should exist, whether or not it's a good thing. I mean, ask yourself, really, did you actually want to spend $400 plus on a console that you already own? You want to rebuy it? Do you want to be gatekept out of certain releases because Nintendo didn't care about you, even though you already bought the system? Like, you were an early adopter, potentially, and they don't care? Is that the situation you want? Because when you perpetuate these rumors, it sounds like you support that. I'm always shocked how anytime I'd see people disappointed in the performance issues of games like the new Hyrule Warriors, Deadly Premonition 2, or basically any Pokemon game, mainline Pokemon game, not spin-offs, there's always some person who's shouting in the comments that, oh, this isn't going to be a problem because the Switch Pro is going to come out. So that's the solution? You just wait a couple years and save up your money in the hopes that somebody's fan fiction is real and you can just buy a Switch Pro that'll fix the problem? You're supposed to just accept that you got screwed over on a game that wasn't ready to be released and hasn't been fixed? That is absurd. You should be able to criticize developers for failing to hit reasonable benchmarks without this happening. They don't get a pass because there could theoretically be a new model that'll solve the problem with brute force. That's really what frustrates me. It's already bad enough that Nintendo fans seem to gobble up any falsehood that you throw at them. But I had hoped that they were at least smart enough to not pump up fake stories that, if true, would be bad for consumers. I expected them to have standards. And I guess that was a mistake, right? And right now, I bet a lot of those 2-bit websites, the fake insiders, and these opportunistic YouTube channels who pumped this rumor up to be what it became, I bet they're all pretty quiet right now because they know the jig is up. Nobody's going to believe them anymore. Oh, except that's not true, because I've already seen people trying to say that, don't worry, there really will be a 4K Switch someday soon. Yeah, sure. You know, maybe there's a 0.1% chance of that happening. That doesn't mean you have any sort of inside track. You don't deserve to make money off of my clicks because you're just guessing and claiming that you're a psychic or something. I mean, get real. My uncle works at Nintendo, and he told me that the new Super Switch Pro 4K isn't coming out until 2024 because it's going to coincide with the release of Breath of the Wild Remastered. Okay? So get your facts straight. Now, if you want to stay tuned to all the latest gaming news, reviews, and updates on that game, be sure to smash the bell and leave me a comment telling me what your favorite upcoming Nintendo game is. That's definitely a real thing, because you are an insider, just like me. Alright, so have a nice day, insiders. Peace out.